Welcome back to 4 Geeks by Geeks. As always, I'm PK.
And I'm Bozer.
Boger.
And I'm... Flippy flip flip flip. SonnSolo.
God,
So
I
cool.
still didn't keep up.
If you haven't seen our other episodes this week, he has been schooling us in the intro game, and so we've been trying to keep up to no avail. We bow to your intro.
SonnSolo here to save the day.
I'm just super honest. Moving forward, because we might have you back on, I'm going to train night and day
To have a good intro.
to have a plus ultra intro.
Plus ultra.
So,
All right.
I just want you to know.
I'm ready for it.
Welcome back to 4 Geeks by Geeks, where geeks come to geek out. If you've seen some other episodes this week, we are geeking out all about Star Wars, especially with that new trailer that just dropped at Star Wars Celebration. 2 weeks ago now? We are so psyched. We've been talking about it for the last 2 weeks. And we are here to discuss some theories on what we think is going to happen in the Rise of Skywalker. So if you've been excited about the content so far, or if you like this kind of stuff, you want to geek out about something new each week with us, make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit that notification icon, that little bell, so that you always can catch an episode, and be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at 4 Geeks by Geeks, so you can keep geeking out with us all week long.
With us talking more about that trailer, let's talk theories. Cue up like a really cool,
Yeah.
Investigation.
Yeah, we're here on the case of Star Wars Episode 9.
I'm not going to pretend to do any type of accent, but I'm here to investigate, like Batman, about theories and clues in the trailer.
You could do like a Batman detective.
Where is she? Where is she? Where's Darth Sidious? Where's Emperor Palpatine?
So as our resident expert, what did you see in the trailer that cues you into what you think is going to happen in the movie?
The thing that threw me off the most about the whole entire unveiling of Episode 9 was the name of the actual movie. We have gotten to a point where the name of the movie is Rise of Skywalker, and this is unprecedented in any of the other movies who have never been named about a particular character. There's Attack of the Clones, Return of the Jedi, but not the actual name dropping of a character. So that was the first thing that I was like, holy cow, what kind of direction are we going to go into? Two things that I've kind of surmised from the trailer that could be a possibility for why it's called the Rise of Skywalker. First thing is, one of the kind of bigger lines at the end of the trailer is Luke says that no one's ever really gone. So again, with this new premise of how the Force is supposed to work, I'm going to guess that there's going to be some part of Force ghosts, kind of like what we saw in, again, Episode 7, where we saw Yoda come back as a ghost and manipulate the actual physical world by causing a lightning bolt to hit the old sacred text of the Jedi. So we know that Yoda at least is powerful enough in the Force to be able to do that. That being said, Darth Sidious, or Emperor Palpatine, as you guys might know him, is also a very powerful Force user. So with us hearing his laughter at the end, that is going to be a big portion of, again, he's going to come back in some sort of way, or shape, or form. He has to.
Well, and so I guess in that sense, just like when you see the Force ghost, if you die and you have that, you're able to come back as a ghost to some avail. Then is that the theory at least?
I mean, that's not a theory, that's confirmed. We see Obi-Wan coming back.
But they're always Jedi. I've never seen like any of the Darths come back, and that's why I'm curious.
Very true, and again, it used to be in the old extended universe that the Jedi were the people who uncovered the secrets of everlasting life, as opposed to the Sith, where they had this thing of transferring their essence from Sith Lord to Sith Lord, and they try to achieve eternal life by that. So in the old EU, yes, the Jedi only had the ability to come back as Force ghosts because they were the good of the Force. Again, now that Disney has intellectual rights to do whatever they want, they may make it to a point where it says, okay, anybody strong enough in the Force who can do the research and attain this higher elevated thinking can come back as a Force ghost. Hence Darth Sidious. Now, another theory, if you don't mind me going on here.
You're the one that's most well-versed.
Zach Beauchamp, I don't know if you're going to be watching, but I talked to one of my best friend's brothers today about Star Wars, and one of his buddies had mentioned that Anakin, again, with this concept of nobody really ever dies, Anakin himself might come back in some shape or form to help mentor these newer Jedi and newer,
I would
this
love
new
to see
generation.
Hayden.
I mean, but that makes sense because if Obi-Wan is a Force ghost and he came back to mentor
Yoda's a Force ghost.
and Yoda and Anakin definitely became a Force ghost at the end of
Very
episode
true.
3.
6.
Episode 6.
3 of the
Episode
original
3.
trilogy.
Right.
But
Okay, yep. Sorry, I'm
You're good.
getting
Yeah, episode
confused.
6, Return of the Jedi. We saw him at the
episode
Yes.
3, he gets
But
chopped up, turned into lava.
You're right.
Becomes
So
fire.
sorry, but we haven't seen his Force ghost
Since
appear
episode
since
6.
then. That makes sense.
So it'd be really cool to see something, because again, I think my biggest kind of plan that I would want to see that them flesh out, again, is what it means to be a Jedi. What it means to be a Jedi, you know what I mean? What do the Jedi stand for? So it'd be really cool to see something where they bring back Anakin Skywalker, they bring back Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, in this, Force manifestation, and they're able to, again, mentor these newer Jedi in terms of, what they're how they're supposed to be living their life. Are those recording?
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure.
That's good. He's looking over at the gains and we're like,
So, yeah.
there's nothing going. But
We're
we're not
just not
talking. We're
talking.
just
No, we're just not
soaking
I'm talking
in your
so
wisdom.
much. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, this is actually really good because I'm learning a lot.
So that's kind of where those are two things that I drew from the trailer.
That's interesting.
Maybe we're gonna see Anakin come back as a ghost again, and he's gonna, especially with Kylo looking up to Anakin and Darth Vader so much.
As his grandfather.
You know what I mean? Anakin's coming back and say, "Look, you know what, Kylo? What you're doing is not right. You're a Skywalker. He's a Skywalker,
At least part.
at least part of a Skywalker. Let my legacy live on in a positive light. You know what I mean?
Right, because at this point, that Skywalker name could be
Very
summarized
tarnished.
as- Yeah.
Very tarnished.
Right, and you were talking about Emperor Palpatine or Darth Sidious, and for those, if you don't know yet, it's pretty much confirmed that Emperor Palpatine will be in this movie because of at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, he came out on stage and
They
confirmed
aired it, and then the lights came down, and red lights came up. I had a couple friends that were there, and the actor, what's his name?
Ian McDiarmid.
Ian McDiarmid showed up, and he grabs the mic. He says, "Roll it again."
And they play the whole trailer again. Like,
Oh
super
my
cool.
God.
So it
Super
is
cool.
confirmed. So that leads to the big question: how has Emperor Palpatine or Darth Sidious survived from when he was defeated in Episode 6?
So was he confirmed dead at the end of that movie?
Yeah, I mean he's dead.
I mean, he
for
fell
sure.
into that shaft. There was a giant explosion, and then the Death Star blew up with him still in it.
So a couple things
So-
that I would want to enlighten you guys on. First one being is that Battlefront, the original, or Battlefront 2, Disney has confirmed that that's canon. In Battlefront 2, during the story, we see Darth Sidious or Emperor Palpatine give his last order to the falling Empire, which is going to be to burn everything to the ground, and that's the whole premise of Battlefront 2. So even at that point, there's been this. Basically, there was the. If you guys remember the Red Guards that kind of helped, Emperor
Yeah, they're
Palpatine, they called the Royal Guard. There's basically one of those guys that had like a holograph face, and it was Darth Sidious. So Darth Sidious, to give you guys some pretext, this dude has been plotting the demise of the Jedi for as long as he can remember.
Definitely since episode 1.
Before episode
Yeah.
1, you know what I mean? Before episode 1, he's had the plot and the demise of the Jedi in mind. So to think that he can survive, 40, 50 years into the future.
I guess it's not that far. It just feels
It's
far.
it feels like it's a long time away. But to think that he can do that, it's not. He's had so many contingencies in mind to help to support this downfall of the Jedi that
Right.
there's going to be a way he's got to come back. So I'm cool with it. He's one of the most powerful Force users of that I know of. So it's cool to see him come back.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, I think I remember this. When he was talking to Anakin and kind of trying to sway him to the dark side, he had told him this story about some guy who was able to get eternal life, right?
It was his predecessor. It was Darth
Plagueis.
Plagueis
Yes,
the
so
Wise.
correct.
Yeah, so Darth
Yeah.
Plagueis had found a way to live forever. And then his apprentice, which he left unnamed, struck Emperor Plagueis down, is it?
That's correct. Yes.
Which would be Darth Sidious.
correct.
Right,
Yep, he was
which he
training
always
Darth
left
Vader.
himself nameless. He just said...
At the time, yeah.
This is a story of the past. So, I mean, I feel it'd be fair to say that he does have the answer to
It's not
eternal life.
implausible. It's not implausible. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think if he's not a Force ghost, there is I know he saw the explosion. I know he saw him he clearly knows something that we're just not talking about.
Right.
And there's never tapped on, but I don't know why George Lucas would have taken the time to go back and talk about the fact that he knew the secret to eternal life, and he was taught that, and he could teach Anakin that exact same thing because his biggest fear is death and losing people.
Because as we know, like, George Lucas thinks these things through. This week in my research, I found some really interesting things, and that the more you're talking, the more it makes more sense. So you were saying that only really strong Force users can become Force ghosts and whatever, and there's the theory that Darth Sidious actually manipulated the Force to create Anakin Skywalker in his mother.
That is
Shmi.
no longer a theory. That has been confirmed as
confirmed?
canon in the Marvel comics of Star Wars. That is confirmed.
Okay, so then if he can do that, the theory is he's done the same with Rey.
That would be pretty crazy.
And here's where the title becomes just all more powerful. So, if he created Anakin, who was a Skywalker, and if he created Rey the same way, in a way they are related. They're almost brother and sister through the Force, through the fathering of the Force. And the term Skywalker, it isn't just a last name. It becomes more of
a title?
That title of almost like the Grey Jedi, of the people that, because Luke really struggled with Jedi being way too one way and seeing darkness go the other, and so he was trying to find that balance. And the same with Anakin. You see him go way too far in the light and way too far in the dark. And so this term Skywalker are the individuals who become the neutral parties and those who can truly tap into the Force's true nature.
Which is,
I like that.
yeah. So that's
Cool.
I love that.
That's got me goosebumps. That's so cool.
And that's so beautiful in the sense that, like, I've wanted them to take this time to make the Grey Jedi. That's clearly where I think it all needs to fall and be done. Like, there's
Not even just the Grey Jedi, but just the fact
the balance.
that exactly
And I do like that Skywalker becomes like Darth or
a title.
yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of it being like Darth Vader or Master Yoda, it becomes
Rey
Blank
Skywalker,
Skywalker, like Rey Skywalker, or whoever can find that beautiful balance and they learn the quality of the Force, they become a Skywalker. That's
That
a good theory.
adds
I
a
love
whole
that.
other gravity to the name. I like that a
And
lot.
then that's just like, if George Lucas truly thought that from the beginning, we doubt it. But
Yeah, no, I
I'm
don't
like that.
I think this is evolving with him.
Yeah, he definitely has a hand in it, but I think Rian Johnson and JJ have some plans that we're not ever gonna predict.
Well, because
in my opinion.
to J.J. Abrams, what he did to the Star Trek series, I personally enjoyed. To
Loved
take
him.
super well-known like storylines and say, well, this is an alternate. He's like, follow with me. This is an alternate universe where instead of Captain Kirk giving his life,
It was his dad.
it was
or-
Spock.
I'm sorry,
Spock takes
yeah.
instead
Yeah,
of
the last one, yeah.
yeah, or instead of Spock taking his life, Captain Kirk took his life. They switched who went into the radiation
Yeah.
chamber. And that was so cool. Like that was incredible. Like I don't know, just those little tweaks that J.J. Abrams thinks about makes me one of my favorite directors.
That's why it's hard to theorize and investigate.
Yeah.
Because he's good. He's super good at pulling those random bits.
So, do you ever read the Darth Vader comics?
Not the most recent ones,
No?
I'll be honest. No.
Because apparently in those comics, again, this is in my research. I wish I could just take credit for all these things. But I've been watching and listening and reading a lot this week. In the Darth Vader comics, there is some hinting that somebody, more like Sith Lords, can almost haunt inanimate objects.
Oh, sure.
And so there's the other theory that the way that Sidious has survived is he haunts not an object, but the Death Star.
Yes.
Something that is just full of hatred. Everything that he represents. Hence, in that in the trailer,
We
why the
see
last
the
scene
remnants of the Death Star.
is the remnants of the Death Star.
And to play on that, in the extended universe, again, I'm gonna go back to a lot of that because that's what I know. Before
it's gone.
Yeah, but before Disney bought Star Wars, when the when the Death Star blew up above the moon of Endor, there was so much dark side energy released that it created what they call a Force Nexus. And a Force Nexus is a very common kind of, I guess, object within the Star Wars universe. Again, before in the U, to where it's a nexus, and again it's a central place of energy. It can be light, it can be a light side nexus, it can be a dark side nexus. So fun fact, they say in the EU that the Jedi Temple was built on top of a mountain on Coruscant, which is why it has that kind of ziggurat kind of design. Was built on top of a mountain that was a dark side nexus, and the Jedi overcame that, and they built their entire temple around that. So the dark side nexus was created when the Death Star blew up, and so again to explain that, we have the remnants of the Death Star. And so much energy has been expelled and so much energy has been released that he was able to find, Darth Sidious was able to find a way to live within that energy. So again, that goes kind of back to your point where again they can haunt this object or they can become part of this object because of what it meant as again this signal of hatred. You know what I mean? This symbol of hatred.
Oh, I love that.
So it'll be cool to see what they do. Again, Luke said that no one's that forever gone. So whether it be, again, Darth Sidious is not forever gone and he's living within the remnants of the Death Star and he's going to come back and start messing around with some stuff, or in the sense that maybe Anakin lives on and again he's going to be the mentor for the new generation of Jedi. Like, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do.
And I think it'd be really
excited.
cool to just see, like, I'm curious if he'll just explain everything to Rey and be like, you are a Skywalker. The reason you don't know your parents is because I created you. Like, it would be that big twist of like, you don't have parents.
Yeah.
There is nothing. You are the beginning. Like,
Which new information that makes perfect sense when she went up to that reflection wall and she's
she
like,
only
show
saw
me my
herself.
parents. She only saw herself because before her there was nothing. She is the beginning and the end in this line, and she is just force and
well, all she remembers.
that's happening. That's happening.
Well, all she remembers is a ship flying off too. If you remember, like her first memory is that ship flying off. There's a really good chance that was just a possessed ship that remained off the remains of the Death Star that he just dropped her off. Dropped her off in the sand because it seems like every Skywalker story starts in
A sandy environment.
right.
Yeah.
I hate sand.
Well, that's it. Like, Anakin's
coarse.
story started in the sand. Luke Skywalker's story started in the sand. Rey's story started in the sand. So it's almost like they're created from that. Like sands
maybe
of
not
life.
the sand, but
the
more of
sands
a
of time.
or like a desert. You know what I mean? Of this absence of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean about a Jedi? What does that mean about the Force? This absence of life. You know what I
I'm
mean?
curious as to why he gave Anakin a mother, but then gave Rey nothing.
This is all unconfirmed.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
if-
she could have a mother, but I do think that she was created through the Force.
Like that makes sense as to why she didn't see anybody.
Yeah,
That's true.
And that makes sense because of the Skywalker lineage, why she and Kylo have this kind of twin connection kind of thing. And I because this is the end of the saga, which, rip, just moment of silence.
It's gonna be crazy.
For that.
It's gonna be crazy to see.
I know when I saw that title.
But that would also mean that they're
End
not
of the saga.
related. So that would mean that they're both strong Force users, which would allow them to kind of move forward and continue the Force under. Everybody that has the Force could be a Skywalker and have that perfect balance if they play into this.
And they really went towards that at the end of The Last Jedi, which they were dealing with Kylo and Ren, and they were like, it doesn't have to be this way, it doesn't have to be. So it really feels like they're moving towards the Force finally getting that balance that it wants. Like you had said in past videos, the Force is a gray state. It's a neutral.
It's all
party.
it's all up to the person and how they use it. You know what I mean? It's just like anything else. It's
It
like
just feels like a good way that's how they're gonna end it.
And
Sure.
you can maybe do like a nice little time skip and kind of show the world beyond them.
absolutely
And just be like, this is
the effects.
right. This is the Skywalker religion. Like maybe the Force becomes like, you know.
These are some very grandiose ideas.
Yeah. So
So
no,
it
this
leads
is
one
theory.
way or the other in 10,000 years again, and then history
then we gotta,
repeats itself.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff going on.
and a lot to uncover. I mean, I don't know how long this last movie is gonna be.
If it's anything like Endgame, we're talking about probably 3 hours.
I would
hope
love
at
that. I
least.
would absolutely love
Yeah.
a 3-hour
I'm
movie.
all about getting your money's worth, especially when it's the end. Like, it better not be any short thing.
Right, I need to see all sorts of wrapping up for all sorts of subplots. You know what I mean? I need to see everything.
It all has to come to close.
But until December, we can only theorize.
Can't wait for more trailers to come out.
The thing is, I've actually avoided trailers. I've avoided trailers of Endgame. I've avoided trailers of this final Star Wars. I don't watch them. I don't want to know.
You want to go into a fresh mind.
I want to go in fresh. So, like,
Sure.
when I hear things like this, I'm like, oh, I can make theories, but I don't want to see it. Like, I want to come in clean.
Yeah, we're different that way. I inhale
Yeah.
them.
Me and PK here worked together. I was at work.
When it dropped, yeah, we were all...
And so I was working with a lady and her daughter, and that was live streaming, and I said, you got to give me a second.
He's like, look, man.
You got to give me a second. And she understood, which was really cool.
That's
she was a cool
awesome.
lady. She understood.
Shout
She was
out
like,
to
no,
you,
I get
man.
it. I said, you're going to have to give me like 2 minutes to watch this trailer. This is some big stuff going down.
this is
So I
the
sat
end
there, I
of
pulled up one of
era.
the demo iPhones, and I just pulled it up, and we were both watching it. We were like, yeah, I was geeking out. So like, I watched that one. But I think I would agree with you. Going forward, I'd probably rather not.
Right.
Watch.
And I try
another
to stay that way. Like, I did the same thing with, like, Dragon Ball Z and
Sure.
the fight with Broly. I've done it with everything. I used to watch trailers, and now that I have the ability to, I avoid them at all costs.
It's good, though. I mean, it lets you go into it open-minded and fresh-faced and...
Usually when you see those trailers, they ruin, like, the best moments. Like, especially nowadays, they're like, oh, so we showed you the best fight scenes and the best and the funniest moments in the entire show.
And now there's nothing left of the movie.
But I'm finding more and more they're showing you like the best moments in the first 25 minutes of the movie. And then, like in the last couple big movies, I was like, what? This was not
Sure.
in here at all. This is such a twist.
Right.
But I go to the movies too often not to see the trailers. I know that I'm going
Right.
to see them.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But I'm really curious, what theories do you have? Please load up the comments below. Let us know what sort of theories that you've gained from these trailers or from your own knowledge of the EU or the books or the games. Let us know, and let's continue to geek out together until December when we all just have
December 19th, folks.
Yes.
Put it down on the
Sob
calendar.
moment.
Request it off of work. Buy the tickets.
I gotta go request my time off work. I'm glad you said that.
now.
Buy the tickets. It's going to be insane. It's going to be a cultural impact.
Well, I'll say, if you think Endgame was hard to get, I can't imagine what the final Star Wars
man.
movie is gonna be. It's
Oh, yeah.
It's
that's
gonna be
so
crazy.
tragic.
Yeah.
People are gonna cry.
I feel like it's going to pull even the old timers. I mean, there's a lot of old timers who love Star Wars that, after the prequel trilogy or these 7 or 8 movies, they're like, oh, I don't know about this. But, you know what I mean? To see the end of what, George Lucas has a hand in this, you know what I mean? So
he's always got his little...
He's got his hand in it. So to see the end of George Lucas's vision, I think it's gonna be really exciting. You know what I mean? To see what being a Skywalker means. Why is it called Rise of the Skywalker? You know what I mean? Like
That title alone is just so enticing.
Very
so
enticing.
So good. Good job, George Lucas, because I know you watch our videos. Contact us anytime.
Yes, big fan, George Lucas.
But until next time, thank you so much for being amazing.
Yes, thank you, SonnSolo. Pew 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 pew.
PK, appreciate the invite.
Always.
Bozer, appreciate the hospitality. Thank you guys.
Anytime.
It's really cool to be a part of something so big. Please, again, subscribe, like the videos. This is something that in recent years, like becoming a YouTube, sensation is something you're like anybody can do. You guys continue to do it as these innovators and as these people who are passionate about whatever it is, cars, books, you know what I mean? So keep doing it up. It's really cool to be a part of something like really big like this. I'll be honest, guys.
And thank
Yeah.
you, and we'll definitely have to have you back on here sooner than later for my hero.
Almighty.
So, until next time, I'm PK.
I'm Bozer.
Oh, I forgot to...
And I'm SonnSolo. I'm not going to do anything to upstage these guys because these guys are the reason why I'm here.
That's how you get back on the show.
Yep.
You just
Take it
keep
easy, folks.
geeking out.
Keep geeking out.